Hello, friends. How are you guys doing? We are now in a new country, Vietnam. I have to tell you why I chose Vietnam this time. Because of two reasons. One, I wanted to come to the oldest part of Vietnam, Hanoi. Its history goes back to thousands of years, and at one time, it was the capital of Vietnam. And number two, Ha Long Bay. I was really amazed with the landscape of the place when I saw these pictures in those James Bond movies. I wanted to come and experience it. So here I am. First, let's go around the bustling city of Hanoi in the old quarters. Shall we go? The Hanoi Old Quarters, also known as the 36 Streets, is a historic neighborhood in Vietnam's capital city, sandwiched between two French quarters, filled with vibrant streets, ancient shops, delicious street food. And that's why I chose to stay here.
This is the bustle of Hanoi old quarters.
You know what immediately strikes on you when you walk on the streets? The number of two wheelers. I should say, I have never seen that many two wheelers on a street anywhere I have traveled. The history of the old quarters date back over 1,000 years when Hanoi was the capital of Vietnam. It contains about 36 crossing streets, and initially each street was dedicated to a specific trade, creating a vibrant commercial hub. Yes, you will find streets for different product categories. Today, the old quarter stands as a living testament to Hanoi's rich heritage.
This looks like a train track.
Now, shall we leave these busy, bustling streets and go into those side streets where all the different kinds of trades take place? Come on. They are literally free from heavy traffic. All the goods were arranged nicely on the sides. It was a sight to see.
This is called the Bamboo Street.
Instead of walking through the expensive gold and silver streets, we chose to walk through this inexpensive bamboo street. The next turn took us to an amazing sight, roadside barber shops. Maybe I've seen it in the villages in my country, but in a bustling street, it was not only for men. I could see even beauty parlors for women on the roadside streets. An exciting way to live. Another thing that impressed me during this walk was the way those street vendors were carrying their wares. Yes, two baskets hanging on both the sides of a stick in their shoulder. It was, I think, a most comfortable way to carry goods.
The street vendor.
The old quarters, for sure, never had any big malls that you see in big cities, but they had some what we call shopping centers. Yes, we walked into one of them and it was a very good experience. There is nothing posh about it, but there was a lot of life. So many shops in a two-floor building, variety of goods, and it was really lively to be there. We left that shopping complex after buying a few things and started our walk on a busy street. It was interesting this time. You can see the procession of those tricycles with a canopy. It was as if looking at a procession of them, something unique to Vietnam. Leaving the streets of bustling old quarters, we started walking towards one of the iconic places in Hanoi, Hoan Kiam Lake.
This is the famous Quan Keen Lake area.
It was a different setup. With the lake as the background, it had a very serene look, in spite of being in a very active and bustling marketplace. There was one good reason why we chose to walk towards this lake. Of course, we can enjoy the beauty of the lake and walk towards the center where there's a small temple. There is also another attraction, water puppetry. Have you heard of water puppetry? There is a stadium here which was exhibiting a water puppetry show, and we just wanted to visit that. It was called Tan Lang Water Puppetry. Come, join me. It was a small auditorium holding maybe 200 seats, but it was almost full. It started with a nice ambience, and what surprised me was I'm always used to this puppetry shows where you can see those strings with which they operate from above. But this puppetry show was done in a pond. Yes, instead of a stage, there was a pond, and all the characters were moving around and doing their jobs inside the water. Maybe they were operating it from underground. I couldn't guess. There was a wedding procession. See how all the characters are walking happily. I really enjoyed this amazing part of the show. A man climbing a coconut tree and plucking coconut and throwing it down. And from where did they operate this? Real surprise. Finally, all the puppeteers came into the stage, and none of them were wet. So, from where did they do all this magic? It was worth every penny that I paid for this show. We got out with a very happy feeling towards our lunch.
This is the Indian restaurant called Tandoor in Hang Bay.
While walking towards the lake, we saw a name board, Tandoor. It sounded so Indian. We thought it must be an Indian restaurant and we should check it out on our walk back. And that's what we did. Yes, it was an Indian restaurant with a total Indian ambience, but with a multicultural clientage. It offered us all the Indian food that we can look for. We had a sumptuous lunch and got back to our hotel because in the evening we want to walk around the street and watch their nightlife.
Famous night market in the old quarters.
Amazing. It was so lively to be in the crowd with people walking around happily. They had blocked a whole road and set up temporary stalls, providing you with variety of goods at really affordable rates. It was a very enjoyable night for us. We had to get back to the hotel because tomorrow I'm going to take you on a trip to a religious place, a boat ride, and a mountain climbing. Stay with me, and I will surely take you wherever I go. If you want to travel to a lot more places like this with me, why don't you subscribe, share, and like this channel? Thanks for watching. We'll meet again.